What's up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Tretch in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
What's up? It's your boy Greg Gray. This is Dope Living TV Live. I got to tell y'all, I messed up, all right? But the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. Okay, hey, Gina, what's going on?
You ain't have to. Didn't nobody know you messed up?
Yeah, I did, though. Hey, Mo, what's going on?
I was like,
hey,
Not everybody know he messed up.
Hey, man,
right.
You know, I can't hold water, okay? Now, today we got Chris Duhon on with us, and I forgot to send him the link.
Now you messed up.
I just told you. That's what I did. Chris, hold on, bro. I'm getting ready to give you the link. Anyway.
Now you messed up.
Anyway, Gina.
no,
How's everyone doing?
I'm good. Still laughing about last night. Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Oh, my goodness.
That show was ridiculous. That's crazy.
Oh,
man, that show was crazy last night.
We had an awesome time.
It was fun.
I love our viewers. Man, we got the best viewers.
we got some of the best viewers.
Yeah. Yeah, showed up. They showed up tonight. Oh, there we go. Okay.
We got some of the best. You know, we got the best viewers in the world, man. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
We also have the best guests too, man.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
But man, look, let's keep our prayers for these people in whatever country they're in.
Turkey, Syria. Oh my gosh.
Did you see the twin earthquake today hit here?
Man, no, I don't know.
It's crazy.
But did you see those pictures, man? And I apologize too, man. What happened with the opening? I don't know what happened with the opening. StreamYard, y'all need to straighten up, man.
Right. You quit tripping.
That wasn't us. That was StreamYard.
StreamYard.
So I sent Chris the link. He should be coming on. Matter of fact, he just popped on. So look, before we get on here, man, again, I apologize. I messed up. I didn't send Chris the link. It's my fault. All right.
Chris, it's his fault.
So
How you say that without your lips moving, though, girl? But look, let me do this real quick, okay? Today on the show, we have, and this is Black History Month, okay? So we have Black History. This guy, man, I'm telling you, and I'm not just saying this because he's on the show, but I used to, man, be like, man, sit Kirk down and let Chris play. What the hell?
right.
Kirk hobbling all over the court, man, doing this, that. Chris popping 3-pointers left to right. Come on, dude, really? But look, I'm not going to talk about it. Check this out.
hot. When it's hot.
Yeah, all right, quit playing with me.
Yes.
Everybody, man, welcome to the show. Mr. Chris Duhon. Chris, what's going on?
Chris.
Welcome,
what's going
Chris.
on? How you guys doing?
Good to have you on.
Slow motion.
Thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. No doubt, man. First of all, again, thank you for coming to the show. Bruh, I'm telling you, real talk. Why didn't they play you more than they played Chris? I mean, not Chris, but Kirk. I'm like, why?
Nah, man. I mean, KH, that's my guy, man. So I'm not gonna throw my guy underneath the bus. I mean, and plus, I mean, Kirk not a player. I mean, he's one of those tough guys that, I mean, he can defend. He makes big shots. I mean, you just gotta realize during that time we were super small. I mean, it was me, him, Ben Gordon. I mean, those were the three main in the backcourt. You're talking about 6'3" and below. So Kirk and I were the best defenders. So we kind of worked well together because we can guard multiple positions. And then we kind of had BG come in at the end, and he was really good with the scoring part, and take us to the promised land. So we had a really good rotation with us three back then.
Yeah, but Ben Gordon came in copying you. He came in copying you. I mean, you can't say it, but I can say it. All right.
I'm gonna let you say it then.
And my son, man, I got a son. He's 28 years old, and he was young when you were playing, man. But he liked to say your name. Duhon. I'm like, but man, welcome to the show again. All right. How is it playing? You came in right after the dynasty. Right after the dynasty, y'all had to rebuild, man. What was the atmosphere like around there?
I mean, I tell you what. I mean, obviously it was tough. Scott just, I think he ended up the year before finishing off the year because I think they fired Cartwright. I think Bill Cartwright was the coach before then. And then, so when, I got drafted, I mean, again, we were a super young team. Like, Kirk was going into his second year.
Yeah.
They drafted myself, Ben Gordon, Luol Deng, Andres Nocioni. Even though Tyson and Eddie were there, they went straight out of high school. So, I was just as old as them. And that was kind of our main core. And you sprinkle in, a couple of veterans like Othello Harrington and AD, Antonio Davis, Piakowski, and we kind of ran ourselves like a college team. That's kind of how Scott coached us because we all came from, great colleges. Kirk from Kansas, Ben from UConn, Luol and myself from Duke. So we didn't know any better. We were already used to being yelled at, by our former coaches. So when Scott did it, it was just kind of, hey, this is the norm, and we're all trying to prove ourselves and. We knew that, with the history after coming out the dynasty, they hadn't been making the playoffs. And, we started off 0-9 and, but, one thing I always credit that, the Chicago fan base, was loyal to the fact because we played hard. Like, they have an understanding of the game of basketball and understood that we were young. But they appreciated the fact that, we played hard and that it may take a little bit for us to get it because we're all new to the game because NBA is completely different than college. And then we figured it out. And then, we just, got hot and then we figured out how to play. And, we ended up having the third best record in the East that year.
Absolutely. And you went to Duke and just stepping back a little bit, you went to Duke and you were the assist leader, all-time assist leader.
Second. Yeah, Bobby Hurley has that. I couldn't catch Bobby. I mean, I needed, Jay Will and Batty and JJ to make a few more shots for me, but they let me down on that end.
But you did your thing at Duke, man. Duke is Duke recruits players. They recruit players, and you made your name there, man. And that's remarkable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I mean, I definitely was blessed. Definitely was, very fortunate. And one of the reasons I went there because Coach K made it clear, like, I was his main recruit. Like he wasn't, he was completely honest with me. He's like, look, I need a point guard. I need another guard. Said, you're the guy I want. He said I have to do due diligence and recruit other guys, but like I'm not signing them until you give me an answer. And it just kind of made me feel wanted. And then when I went on my visit, and was able to mesh with the guys, and we played pickup, and everything just felt natural, and it felt like the right opportunity for me.
Yeah, and it was, man, because you did your thing at Duke too. All right. Let me ask you, you're one of the Bulls' top 10 point guards. Bulls have a lot of point guards, all right, but you made the top 10 list, man. How does that feel?
I didn't know that. I mean, you see the smile now. Yeah, that's good to know. Obviously with a established franchise of Chicago to be in the top 10. I mean, that's obviously an honor. Like I said, I definitely enjoyed my time in Chicago. I learned a lot. Being there, and we had a really good run during that time.
Absolutely, man. How long did you play pro ball?
9 years.
Wow, that's a long run.
Yeah.
Man, and you still look like you can run too, bro.
Huh?
You still like you can run.
Oh yeah. I mean, I got kids. I got a 8th grader who
Right.
he not beating dad until I can't walk anymore. So I got to make sure I stay in shape.
Yeah, man. My son played football in college, man, and he's a big dude. So he tried to play. We played basketball a little bit, but as he started leaning on me, nah, dude. Couldn't do no more. Gene, you had a question.
Yes, Chris, you played against Kobe in 2016. That was 4 years before that tragic day. How was it? How did it feel playing against him, that legend?
I mean, before that was actually the last team I played with, so I actually got to play with Kobe and got to see him. How he prepared each day. I sat with him on the airplanes and we talked, just about basketball and life. And, it was definitely, obviously it's definitely painful because, Kobe gets, a bad rap in some ways. And, some of it is deserved. I mean, because of just what his mentality was.
Yeah.
Especially early on in his career where, he was trying to prove him that he was the best player to ever play. And he wasn't going to let anybody get in his way. If you wasn't working to the standards that he was working with, he didn't respect you. So he was just so narrow-minded. But then I was fortunate to catch him on the back end. He's already kind of accomplished his titles. He won, 2 without Shaq. And he knew he was kind of towards the back of his career, so now he was a little bit more open as far as giving young guys advice and telling them what it takes and what it expects and what he regrets not doing earlier in his career and what he's going to do for the rest of his career. And as you can see, that he galvanized a lot of players because you had one perception of him, but then you saw more of the softer side of him towards the end, as he wanted to give back to the game that given him so much.
Yeah, most definitely. Now there was and I know you're probably tired of answering this question, but there was it's a rumor, but it's a truth rumor that you basically forced Kobe to start passing the ball.
Just pick his pocket. Run up and pick his pocket and run.
Tell us about the bet.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it only happened for one game, so I think I had to put more money up for it to go for a longer stretch. But we're on the road and we're flying back home to LA because for our next game. And like I said, I was sitting next to him. And, after every game, usually, obviously with us being on the West Coast, most of the games are already completed. So you can get a stat sheet. You can get a stat sheet of what every team did with their game, the stat sheet, box score, all that stuff. So, we always grab it and just kind of see, who won, what teams are doing, who scored what, who did what. And, I think LeBron had like another triple double. It was like, his third in like 6 games. And, he was like, oh, LeBron got another triple double. And, I was joking at first. And I was like, well, your ass is never gonna get a triple double because you don't pass.
Say at night, I'm gonna pick your pocket.
Yeah, so he started laughing. He said, "What?" He was like, "I was like, I bet you $5,000 that you don't get a triple double the next game." And he was, it's like bet. And I mean, sure enough, I mean, I think he was like 1 assist and 1 rebound shy at halftime. And, and like the whole time he's like winking at me. And then, after the game, one, he didn't take it from me, so I didn't have to pay up. But he was just like, I can have it. He's like, I can. But he was just like, I can. He said, I can do this every game if I want to. He was like, but my team needs me to score, and like that's how I strike fear in the other teams by being able to score and letting them know that at any given moment I can drop 50, and that's just what's his mentality, and that's what that he felt like for the team that we had, and for most of his teams that he felt that he had to be the guy, to be the intimidator, to let them know at any time, I could put 50 up.
Exactly. He did that. Whenever he felt like, basically, it's like, man, y'all sit down. I got it. Maurice, you got a question?
Yeah, I just asked him about how he feel about the coaching thing now.
About what?
Coaching.
Just in general?
Yeah.
I mean, it's different. Obviously, in the NBA, obviously players have a lot more power. So it's kind of more of, managing egos than it is.
Yeah.
Really X's and O's. Because there's, obviously the money is crazy now. Everyone is getting paid. And it's tough. It's tough to keep that dynamic. And then especially when you're dealing with, how much money they're out there, people are trying to get it, so you may not know how long you're going to have them for. And, while you're still trying to, win games, and then upper management is, not as, patient as they used to be. Like you see guys that, won and been in the playoffs, and then all of a sudden they get fired because they feel like, they should have won the championship that game and things like that. So, it's a tougher business, and it's even tougher now in college now, especially dealing with NILs and the transfer portal, and now coaches has to not only go out and recruit other kids to come play, but recruit their own players to stay, which wasn't like that back when I played. Like you went somewhere, and that's basically you're only transferring if something tragic happened, or the coach told you to leave.
That's crazy, man. That is correct. Because I was, that was part of the question I was going to ask. You were right in the middle of how tough basketball was then and how it is now. And I think it's a completely different ball game now, don't you think?
Yeah, of course, and that's what the NBA wanted. That's kind of what the fans wanted. They wanted more scoring, wanted more people being able to show their skills. Kind of in a more not street ball type but more look more professional. So they want to see the Kyries and the Stephs and the Dames dance on people, and not have guys being able to put their hands on them and stop them from doing what they want to do. And it's just showing that the skill level that a lot of guys are having now. You see big men now being able to handle the ball and shoot the ball from three. Right? So it's just the game's definitely different. There's not much defense being played now, but at the end of the day, it's tough to do it. Because being able to be physical with someone, they kind of took that out the game. So now players are able to kind of run free, and and then that's tough. That's kind of like in football. These DBs can't put their hands on wide receivers. At some point, there's not much you can do, right?
I mean, but Chris, keep it 100, man. It's a softer game now.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely softer. But that's what they want.
Well, you got $100 million running up and down the court.
Yeah.
Damn that $100 million, man. You got people that paid that money to come see these guys get down and dirty.
But not to get broke up, though.
Yeah, not to get broke up.
I'm sorry.
They want to see the skills. They want to see the skills.
We can see the skills on NBA All-Star Weekend. All right. I'm sorry, man. Mo, you had a question.
Yeah, I just how do you feel like the stars? Like the champions. Golden State and all them. How do you feel like Curry and all of those guys, those younger
Yeah, I
guys?
mean, I think they are kind of the example, and that's one of the reasons they're a dynasty is because they were able to stay together,
Mm.
right? If
They
you
did
think
keep.
about
They kept almost everybody too, didn't
yeah, if you or at least their main core, you think about the San Antonio dynasty with
they? Oh yeah,
Ginobili and
yeah.
Parker and Duncan, like
Rockets.
they started together and stayed together, through all the ups and downs, and so I think it's remarkable for those guys to be able to stay together, be that main core group, and like I said, I think one is I think Mark Jackson doesn't get enough credit for what he did, with those guys because he
Yeah.
had them playing in the right way, building their confidence, and then obviously they went with Kerr, who's also a great coach as well, but
Yeah.
was able to
Steve.
get over the hump. So. Obviously, Steph has revolutionized the game with his deep shooting and ball handling, and having someone like Clay who could shoot it just as well as him. And then you do have kind of your enforcer with Draymond, but people have to realize how great
He's
his IQ is, basketball wise. Like he defensively, offensively, he plays to his strengths. He prepares extremely well, and he's kind of what they need to continue with like the success that they're having.
Absolutely, but we celebrating you today. All right. Because I remember there was a game, and I read it too, just to keep up on something. I think it was when the Bulls had a playoff run. You hit 8 of 9 3-pointers.
Mhm.
8 of 9 3-pointers. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So Stephen Curry, if you're watching, okay, he 8 of 9 3. I know you did it before, bro, but he did it first. All right. Get out here with all of that, man. Victor Jackson says, here to support as always. What up, Chris? Best friend of former Gary, Indiana NBA player Tellis Frank Jr. and uncle to Darius Garland, Cleveland Cavaliers. Slick Vic.
all right.
Nice.
Darius is a good player.
Oh no, he's really, really good. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. I think they have something, man. They can with him and Spider. I think they're one piece away to like really being like a contender in the East. On a consistent basis. I mean, it's just definitely they stay healthy. You have two guards that are dynamic with the ball and can score anywhere on the court. Especially how the game is played now, whereas everyone is playing in space. They're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. GD had a question.
Yes, I'm interested to know, Chris, if you were the coach of the Chicago Bulls today, what would you do differently?
Oh man.
Wear a better suit than Phil Jackson.
I mean, it's tough. I think, it just feels like they don't have the right pieces that gel together,
Yep,
right? As
yep,
far as
I
the
agree.
players, like, you have Zach, you have DeMar, but they kind of play the same position but do things differently, right? So
Mm.
it's like, who do you go with? Can you play both of them together? Because truth be told, both of those guys are not the greatest of defenders, and
Thank you.
I think
He
you know
said it.
I think Zach is in that mindset and mind frame of he should be the number one guy. So you can kind of tell that when he goes out there, he's trying to prove to not only the Bulls but to anybody else that I should be a franchise player. And sometimes when you have your own agenda, it can kind of mess up the team chemistry as well.
And I think DeMar came in a little different as well. I think he came in off of a team that was winning, and he came to a team that was losing, thinking he could do more for that team. And like you said, I think him and my man clashing a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think like DeMar was in San Antonio. I think they traded him out of respect because they've been tanking, or I wouldn't say tanking, but they've been struggling for the last couple of years, San Antonio. So I think Pop was just like, look, we're going through a rebuilding phase. You need to go somewhere where you actually have a chance to compete for a championship. but you also got to understand, like they've had injuries too. I mean,
Yeah.
Lonzo's been hurt. I think Caruso's been hurt a lot. So they haven't really been able to, mix the older guys with the young guys and kind of find like a true rotation that is consistent that they can kind of build up on. Like, when I played there, that's what happened with us. Like we were young, but we didn't face any injuries and we were able to, play in a lot more games together in different situations to where, you build that confidence, you build that trust in one another and you know what you're going to do. You what your minutes look like, how to, so you can prepare yourself before the game. Like, hey, I know coach is going to put me in at the 6 minute mark, like whatever I got to do to be ready to be out there and play right away. Those are the things that are important, especially when you're trying to make a playoff run.
Exactly. We're talking with Chris Duhon, former NBA player, one of the best ones in my book. Okay, like I said, I used to want Kirk Heinrich to sit down, let Chris pop that three, drive into the. See, he did it all. He drove to the hoop. He wasn't scared. He wasn't the tallest guy in the world, all right, but he wasn't scared to go to the hoop. I just left off a piece when I was cutting this up of him running this guy down. Okay, guy thought he thought he was posting you up, boy. Come on, get out of here, boy. That's Chris Duhon. Get out of here. Anyway, man. Look, after your NBA career was over, man, you took that same energy, the same commitment, and took it to business. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I mean, after I was done, I tried coaching for a little bit. Coached at Marshall University, Illinois State, Bryant, and now just kind of taking it, into the business world. I'm living now here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Like I said, I have 5 kids, a beautiful wife, 5 kids. My wife's has her doctorate in math, so she's a professor at Davidson University down here in Charlotte, and was wanting to find something to one where I have the flexibility to still work, but also be present in the home as a husband and as a father. Because I have 5 kids that are into everything, so they're basketball, soccer, gymnastics, dance, all this. So I want to be present in that as well. So now I'm into financial services. We're wanting to help basically a lot of middle class families understand how money works, right? Because we don't get that type of education, in school, or we're not around a lot of people that understand how money works. So wanted to provide families the opportunity to be able to prepare themselves to be financially independent, when they decide to retire. So, that's kind of another way for me that I feel that I can go and, give back to my communities.
Yeah. How hard is that to get people to want to admit that they're having financial difficulties and need help?
Right.
I mean, very, very difficult, right? Because, we don't like to talk about our money. And, but the truth of the matter is that a lot of us think about it. We think about wanting to save and do it, but we just don't know how and where to do it. Like we just, if you go into a normal bank, you don't know that the interest rate that you're getting there is not very high. So your money is not really working for you as well as it should be doing. So I think, once you kind of, you see the presentation and understand, how money works, where the interest, what you should be looking for interest rate wise, where you should be putting your money and kind of understand it, the more that they're more willing to, go in that route and be like, okay, I've been wanting to save, but like, oh, now that you're showing if I do this and I stay consistent with doing it, then, I think we can do that. So, it's been a grind, but it's also been fun, as well. Like I said, it's, every business you're going to have to grind, right? So I'm enjoying the grind with it and, enjoying and learning more and more and being able to get in front of families and help them out.
And I think that's the big key, man. We have to talk about it in order to get the knowledge out there so people can actually use the knowledge, because you said it right. A lot of people just put their money in banks and it just sits there because they don't know anything else to do. They and the banks are not going to tell you that you do this and you should do that. Okay. You ask them a question and they just tell you, okay, well, you got a 401k, you got an IRA. That's it. Tell me about the IRA. They can't tell you. Those people can't tell you.
They won't tell you what to invest in, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Those pitfalls.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And
so
then
I
you're
mean,
supposed to jump up and down when you get that 6 cent interest, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
something
mean, so
like that.
we prefer more. There's traditional. I mean, there's a lot of different IRAs
Yeah.
but we kind of tell families more about using the Roth IRA just because of the
You know
tax
that.
Right.
the tax is deferred. So, with a traditional IRA, you don't pay taxes initially on it, but then once you start to take your money out, so if you go to take 2,000 out, you're only going to get, whatever the tax break is during that time. So if taxes are high during that time, you're going to see less and less of your money to where,
Right.
in the Roth IRA, we get that out the way during the lowest tax times to where if you take out 2,000, you're going to be getting 2,000. So your money, you're going to be getting exactly. So, yeah, I mean, we do that, and we do a lot of other things. Just to inform and educate people, how money works and things like that.
And y'all getting some free education from Chris Duhon. And if anybody know about how to handle money, don't ask me, okay? Ask him, all right? Mo, you had another question.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you have a website and stuff that something we can stream so we can
I don't have a website yet, but I mean, you can find me on LinkedIn. And if you have like any questions or would like to see the presentation at any time, just DM me, and I'll be more than willing to show you, what our services provide.
Okay.
See, it's always good to, with someone with Chris's background, it's good to talk about what he did in the past, right? But some of the more important things now. I mean, the past is the past. Let's walk forward. You know what I'm saying? And see what he's doing to not only better himself, but to better other people. And that's part of that give back.
Right.
And man, I truly understand that. And I was telling somebody the other day, I did well with what I was doing for my occupation, but my money wasn't growing. I just had it in the bank, and you got a couple of million there, and that's just what it is. It's just a couple of million. Because the interest rates are low. You're thinking it's going to grow, but it's not growing. How can somebody that's got the money in the bank? What's the best thing for them to do at this moment? To make it grow outside of it. I mean,
We get it out of there. Get it out there, get it professionally managed. We do mutual funds and IRAs, and I think a lot of people that what are scared of is that they can't get to the money or they get taxed if they need to take money out. I mean, that's it's not true. Like we can set up to where like basically an emergency fund, right? So like if you have an emergency fund, we have it growing for you at a high interest rate. But if an emergency comes, you got to do what you got to do, and it's not going to hurt you, or you're not going to get penalized, or you don't have to pay an interest rate on that. So I think the fear with a lot of people is that they don't understand that. They think if they have something for savings and they take it out, then they have to pay uh, a tax on it, or interest on it, and you don't. There's different ways around that to where we can set it up to you to where obviously we don't want you taking it out because we want it to keep growing as much as possible. But if emergency life happens, and we understand that you won't get penalized for doing what you have to do.
Okay, so let's jump into this. So, what do you think about? Well, first of all, let me ask you this question: have you ever heard of an infinite bank?
I have not.
Okay, I heard that on the radio when I was in Chicago, and I'm like, an infinite bank?
Yeah,
And again,
I haven't.
I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, sure. Let me write that down. I'll have to research that.
Yeah, I've heard of that one too. I hear it all the time, that infinite bank, and it's
Yeah,
supposed
what's
to
that?
grow your money. Even if you take money out, your money is still growing.
Yeah, I call bullshit. All right. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, because
Yeah, but
I would think everybody would be rich by now.
yeah, I'll have to look into that one because
yeah,
there's definitely a loophole.
Chris, please look into it and let me know. All right, because
Okay.
I hear it too much. I'm talking about infinite bank. It's the radio guy, and he's talking about infinite bank, and I'm like, dude, shut up. All right, you're not explaining. I don't like to be sold. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me the information, tell me the information, and let me make my own concerted decision. Don't keep beating it to me. You get the infinite bank, and so got $3,000 off of this, and if she takes it, shut up.
Yeah.
It sounds like a money vehicle is what it sounds like, because we have something similar at work, but it's like a loan, you know.
Yeah.
So if you take $4,000 or something out of your 401k, they don't take it off the cap. They do not touch it. They basically put it back in like little bitty tiny increments through your paycheck, like $34, $35 a paycheck until it's paid.
Yeah.
So it goes nowhere. You actually continue contribute to your 401k, and it's actually still growing, and that money didn't come off nothing. They don't charge you no interest or nothing. It's actually a pretty decent plan if you want to mess with your money.
That's what Angela is saying.
She said she has one and it works.
Yeah, well, the thing about that,
she's the one.
She's the one. Hey, see, it could be good. And that's the good thing. Like what I'm doing is that when we check with people and their finances and things like that, if you're already doing the right thing, like I'm not trying to come and steal your business, right? And well, she's a big whole life insurance person. I'm not in whole life. I rather do term life. Yeah. So. But I mean, that's a good thing. Like we want to build personal relationships. So like you said, if you want to find out like what's going on with my money or what I need to do, or if something happens, you're not calling the bank and not even talking to someone that probably didn't even put your plan together.
Exactly.
You're calling me directly, and then we're going to sit down, we're going to meet and figure it out together.
Okay, what do you think about the crypto phase?
I never got into that. I didn't trust it from the get go.
I got a little pain from that.
That's what I call it, a phase.
Just a little bit. It wasn't that much, but it was just enough. It was enough to make me say, nothing from nothing leaves nothing, and you should have kept that in your mind.
That's like Afro's platforms, man. It's gonna be here for a second or two. And you're gonna lose money, I think.
The thing about it is, what made it stupid is greed. Greed killed it quick. This dude that's going through all this stuff to the court right now. It dropped, and it's dropped before. It's dropped as low as $17, a coin, and came back up to the 60, and then dropped a little bit. But this dude took so much out. He took billions and billions out all at once. He stole the money. There was a little Ponzi scheme going on.
Yep.
And killed it. Well, it ain't bad right now. It's recovering. It's a 20-something. I think it's $20-something a coin right now.
But again, we are talking with Mr. Chris Duhon, former NBA player and financial strategist right now, right? And I'll stay up out of that. Look, don't ask the bank. Don't tell her what, man. So I'm gonna put $500,000 into your bank. Can you tell me how you can make it grow? And you got Sheila up there chewing gum and trying to tell you something that she doesn't know about. I can't imagine putting my money in the hands of people who should, and I think they should be well versed on this. Tell me how to make my money grow. I guess that's why they got people like you, huh?
Yeah, I mean, because we're not going to just say, all right, give me your money and then trust us. We're gonna do this. Like we want to explain it to you. We want you to be educated, so that way, if you want to do research and you have questions and I want to be able to explain what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, and show you the history of why we're choosing to use this mutual fund instead of this mutual fund, and so that you feel a part of making the decisions. Like I don't want to feel like I'm making decisions for you. Like I want to educate you, and then it's your money, right? You decide what you want to do, and I'll tell you what the risks are, and how whatever you need to know. I'm gonna let you know. Hey, this is high risk. This is a moderate. This is conservative. How do you want to save and make your money grow, and then we go from there. And then obviously, if new information come out, I'll reach back up. Hey, this is what's happening in the market or things like that. What would you like to do? This would be, my recommendation, but obviously this is your money. So, but we want you to educate, because we got to, send this down to future generations, right? Again, this stuff you don't learn in school and not even in college, right? So, if we're able as a community now to understand how money works, and, when we have kids and we're able to teach them and they're able to teach their kids, we'll be better financially, as Black people in general. I mean, I have to separate with everyone, but I'm thinking about, where I grew up and where I came from. Like, I'm not getting this type of education because, a lot of the people that I grew up around didn't know anything about it. So if we're able to provide that type of information, while at a young age, then, I think it will be better for us in the future.
And shout out to you as well. You're from Louisiana, and when Hurricane Katrina hit, man, you did your thing, man. You provided some food and some packages for people, man. Shout out to you for doing that.
I appreciate it.
Most definitely. Angela Johnson, we love you, but she kind of like everything we saying.
She said, "Go invest in that crypto, that Bitcoin."
We love you, Angela. Most definitely love you. Victor says he'll be retiring soon, or disability. 401k is growing, but need to invest some of it. Looking at BlackRock Mutual Fund. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think mutual funds are really a good way to go. I would have to look at BlackRock just to kind of see, what companies they're investing in, because with mutual funds, you're investing in a lot of different companies, right? So you got to kind of, read the history, kind of their past basically tells you what their funds usually do. So, kind of got to look in the past and see, how their growth's been in the past. But yeah, I mean, I would do some research, but usually mutual funds, especially you have someone that's done it for a while, they know what they're doing, and what companies you should be being invested with.
Absolutely. Gina, you had a question?
Yeah, Chris, I'm interested to know what exactly pivot you into the financial arena. I know that my neighbor Jason Johnson played professional football. He played for the Broncos, the Steelers, the Saints, and he ended up back home with his mom. He was making bucks,
Mhm.
and so one of the things that happened with him is that he was spending a lot of money out there. And then now that his son and his nephew have been drafted, he's did a 360. Now he's teaching them how to manage their money, how not to do the things that he did. Is that what
the hell is gonna teach them how to manage money when he at home with mommy?
Well, he's not anymore. His son is in the, his son was drafted 3 years ago. But I'm just wondering, is there something, or did you look at your financials or what was happening at the time and said, hey, let me move in this direction, and not only move in this direction, but teach others?
Yeah. It was just kind of like I was kind of looking for the next step. I didn't like in my head say, all right, I'm gonna, jump into financials or things like that. Opportunity was presented to me, and I took a look at it and started working in, and then I liked it. And then I think again, one of the big things I like about it is that one, I'll be able to have my own business to where, I could pass that down to my kids if that's something that they're ever interested
Generational
in
wealth.
doing.
Yep.
And then two, again, it's just giving back. Like I know that, I wasn't the understood how financials went, when I got the money, right? You deal with agents and they're like, oh, go with this guy, and you're basically giving them your money and trusting that they're doing the right thing. But did I really know what they were doing and why they were doing it, or did I even know what questions to ask? No, the answer is no. I didn't know anything. So, you always, like you say, you hear the horror stories of the people play in the NBA and then or in any professional sport, and then 5-10 years later that they don't have any more money left because they weren't taught to properly save their money. Their financial advisors wasn't communicating with them on a consistent basis to be like, hey, you need to slow down your spending, or you're not going to have much, things like that. So, I just want to provide that opportunity, and then more for middle and lower class, just to let them know that you can still do this as well. You don't have to have $250,000 or millions of dollars to invest money. You can do it with what you have now, and then have it grow. And then as more successful you become, the more you can kind of put back into it, and then you'll realize that you'll be able to be financially independent when you decide to retire.
Exactly. And you just segued into, I have a reel of professional athletes who squandered their money before. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Iverson.
No, don't talk about it. You're not naming names of those guys.
Okay. I said
naming guys. But you know what, Chris, we got a life coach that's on board with us. All right, and this is life coach's moment right now. So, Jeff Relaford, let's take it away.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you with another 1 minute thought. So, remember, yesterday I talked to you all about dealing with stress, right? And I said, you can write. You can go ahead, get some pen and paper, and you can start writing. But there are more ways to actually deal with stress, people. So I want to just enlighten you all about another way. And that other way is meditation. Okay. Meditation. Now, there are many different forms of this. You can turn on some white noise, some music, okay, some meditation music, something that calms you down. What you could do is you can end up praying. You know what I mean? Because remember, meditation also is becoming one with self as well, and being aware of the things that are around you. So you can also do some deep breathing exercises, some you can do that the whole time that we actually went through this whole 1 minute thought. I guarantee you, if you try just some of these simple techniques that will actually calm you down and lower your stress value, okay, lower the stress value, I guarantee you, you'll be able to go ahead and be one step further once again to relieving even more of that stress in your life.
All right.
Jeff
Be
Relaford,
real.
I believe that's what he said. He did a whole 3 minutes on breathing.
Yeah.
Whole 3 minutes on that. Okay, we were talking with Mr. Chris Duhon, former NBA player. I call him a financial strategist. I don't care what he wants to call himself. He's a financial strategist. He's telling y'all what to do with this money, y'all. Chris, are they teaching these guys that are in the NBA now how to manage their money?
The NBA does or the NBA PA does a great job. Like, they send people for us to learn how to manage your money and things like that. Usually it happens during training camp. They just teach about, being in the NBA, what to look for, what to expect, and all these type of things. But you when you're young and you're coming straight out of college or high school, like you think you're gonna live, yeah, you think you're gonna live forever, right? So, and then that's all. I'm included. I'm not taking myself, out of that realm. So, uh, you know, it just comes to a point where at some point you realize, uh, you know, that you need to really take care of your money because you're not going to be making that type of income, for the rest of your life, right? And you can't live that certain lifestyle for the rest of your life unless you're bringing in the money to live that certain lifestyle. So I think it's gotten better. I think people's past failures and that we bring those up, and the good thing about it is that we have a lot of former players that who had went through that time of losing money, coming back and educating the current players, right? Like, hey, I was just like you, like I was young, dumb, and buying every new car out there and doing all this, and you're not invincible, right? It can happen to anybody, and I think it's starting to to hit the kids earlier. You can hear a lot of stories where people are not even touching their paychecks; they're just spending basically what they make off endorsements and having that money, saved up for them. So, so I think it's definitely getting better, and they're starting to get more educated on that.
That's a good thing. You think they'll ever start letting these guys come in at 18 again, fresh out of high school?
Yeah, I think they passed that rule already. I think it. I don't know if it's this year or I think if it's not this year, it's 2024 to where you can they're going to lower their age to 18.
Wow.
Well, they're starting to pay them at college. They're starting to pay them at college level out, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I mean they got the NIL deal,
Yeah.
so I think I hope the NBA is going to kind of encourage which ones they think are able to go. Um, obviously they have the G League Unite. That was what kids were going to instead of going to college. But I guess in a way to help the college game now with the NIL, maybe guys that shouldn't be leaving early would stay because they're still making money. So the thing that sucks is that they're not working together, right? So the
No.
NBA is kind of
Yeah.
doing their
Oh
thing and
man.
care about what they want, and then the college game is mad at the NBA because they want to have complete control over these kids. And if they work together, you can help kids make a better decision of when to go and when not to go, because you see a lot of these kids go and then they're in the G League and then all of a sudden they're overseas and their career is gone.
Career's
So
gone.
whereas
Yeah.
maybe they play 3-4 years in college and
so they're not standardizing the path from college to NBA. They're not putting a standard on. It's not no clear path anyway. They basically leaving them to navigate during their college years and the G leagues. So
yeah, and I thought the NBA did a great job of the NCAA of lengthening when you had to decide to go. So like now they're at least giving kids the opportunity to go work out with teams and like really get a true assessment of where they're at or where they may get drafted, and then have the opportunity to still come back to college.
Yeah,
right.
That's what my cousin did. That's my
cousin. Also, let these kids know that just because you were the man in high school don't mean you're gonna be the man in this next level.
Right.
Ain't gonna happen, bro.
You're acting like LeBron James, but you're not LeBron James.
That's a blow. That's a blow below the belt there.
You LaFon's James. Then Maurice, did you have one more question?
Actually, you guys went right to it. I was going to ask him the question that you asked him about, help him out with finances and things. You just basically bring it right on back around. Playing the game, getting the money for the game, and just like you said, just like any young cat, you went out there and you threw some money in the pit, just like everybody else threw the money in the pit. Make it rain, whatever. I got a cousin in the NBA. He went out there and did that thing too. So. Yeah,
Chris, I want to, first of all, man, thank you for coming to the show, hanging out with us. This is Black History Month, and everybody is talking about the people who made history back in the day. We fought for your rights, we fought for this, we fought for that. But there are people like Chris Duhon that have made a name for himself and and continuously making names for himself and helping others. That's history to me. That's Black history. You're helping each other, and you're still here to receive the accolades, because we wanted to celebrate you today, man, and just talk about your past, talk about your present, and talk about the future, man. So again, man, we thank you for coming to the show. We appreciate you. Anything, anytime you want to come on here, man, just call me up, say, Greg, I'm going to come on the show. We're going to cut the president off, man. And we're going to let you hear from his ass anyway. So.
Chris,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. How can people reach out to you for finances?
Yeah.
And are you able to, do you reach out to people other than in your state?
We can't reach. Don't tell people to reach out to him for finances. You just said reach out to him for finances. Chris, open your pocket, bro. Let me get $1. Okay?
Trust me, he get that every day, probably.
I mean, I have my LinkedIn. I have a Facebook page. My Facebook page, I usually post some things on there. And then, you can always email me as well at duhonchris21@gmail.com.
Yeah,
and then
you go to the LinkedIn page. It's pretty thorough. You'll be able to get in contact with them. There's a link where you can even get to the email. So just go to the LinkedIn page, Chris Duhon. It's on there. He didn't change his name up. Same thing all the time. It's Chris Duhon.
He might not, since I'm sending everybody to him for finances.
Yeah, but
I appreciate it.
Chris, you should have corrected it.
Tell me where you like to eat. I'll send you a gift card.
Downtown GI.
No. Appreciate you, Mr. Jackson, for hanging out, asking the questions, man. Kudos to you as well. All right, Chris, we appreciate you again, brother. We celebrate you, man. Thank you for being a part of Black history, bro.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Very honored.
Most definitely, man. It's Dope Living TV Live. We'll see you guys tomorrow if I can find the link. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Right? Peace out.
Thank you.